Now, Davina McCall has given hope to some of us today. The 52-year-old says that she still enjoys orgasms.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
That was a bigger woo than we got for the competition, I have to say.
It's because it don't happen very often.
Feels like a foxy minx and has even had her nipple re-pierced.
Oh.
A re-pierced. She says, people say it's all gone, menopause, blah, blah, you're finished with your wizened, dried up ovaries. Now it's beginning to feel a bit more familiar. I feel like it's really important, says Davina, to say that people in their 50s are having the time of their lives. I feel like whenever people start trying to put me in that box, it makes me want to be really naughty. So, Linda, are you feeling naughty?
Enough to get my nipple pierced?
Yeah.
No, I'll never be that naughty. I'm telling you now. The thought of that, the pain it must give you. You know what, it was like breastfeeding. That was painful enough, let alone having it pierced.
I don't know whether you're rubbing your nipple and you've got heartburn.
Rubbing going on.
Well, I was feeling the pain of having it pierced, that's why. But no, I'm enjoying my 60s. I mean, I've done things like coming up to 60 that I would never have done in my 30s or 40s. Like I climbed a mountain with you, Ben Nevis.
Yeah.
I've done a skydive.
Well, you were more shoved up it, to be honest.
I was shoved up the mountain. I know, I had to be helped up by about 3 people.
But you did it.
But I did it.
You
I
did
got
it.
there. I was the last one to finish, but I finished. And
best for
also, I've got like a bucket list in my head that I want to do. They've been talking about doing a series with me and Leslie about 10 things on our bucket list to do before we die. And I keep thinking of all the things I want to do. So one of them is I want to do a crowd dive. You know when you're at one of them pop concerts?
Crowd surfing.
Like crowd surfing, when you jump in there. I'd be petrified they'd drop me, though. I might have to lose a few pounds before I do that. But I'd like to do that. And the other thing on my bucket list is I want Donny Osmond to sing Puppy Love to me at Caesar's Palace. I want him to get me up on stage. And an excuse to go to America. An excuse to go to America. But also I did that series called Gone to Pot, where I tried
So
cannabis.
is this an age thing?
I just think as you get older, you think you've got less time, so you want to fit more into the time that you've got left, really. So anything, like the kids are always, like, pushing me, get me up on big high slides, get me crabbing, get me on one of those swing things they did the weekend. And
They're
it's
just
like, I
having a
can't
laugh,
let them
aren't
down. I think they're taking the mickey out of me. They want to see me fail, but I never do. I always do what they ask me to. So,
what about you, Saira? Have you got more kind of, I don't know if rebellious is the right word, but are you kind of pushing your boundaries as you get older?
Oh, 100%. I think turning 50 was a massive milestone for me in so many different ways. But one of the things that I did that I knew would upset my family, my community, was to kind of like, you know, be really body positive. And I did a shoot that was put on the front cover of a magazine. And I have to say, that for me to do that without feeling the guilt and without feeling the shame was a massive deal. And it, unfortunately, although I'm okay with being that person, being myself now, it is at the risk of upsetting other people. And that used to bother me before, but now I just feel, you know what, I can't hide behind the guilt and the shame. And, you know, I did that cover shoot and my mum didn't talk to me for 8 months. And
Wow.
it really upset me, and it upset my family, it upset my children. And, you know, on my 50th birthday, my mum was not going to phone me up and talk to me because she said, you have brought shame on the family. There are members of my family that still don't talk to me because I did that cover shoot. They're embarrassed, they're shameful, and they think that I've let a lot of people down. But you know what? I didn't let myself down. I feel like I'm embracing my body. There is nothing wrong with being confident and having that self-esteem to do the things you want to do in life.
Saira, why did you feel it was so important to do it then, given that you would know that it would likely have that effect and maybe cause, you know, some troubles within your family?
I think, Kaye, I was brought up in an environment where a woman and her body, it embodies shame and guilt. And I've had it all my life. And I see it around the world still. Women are killed and murdered because if they celebrate or embrace their bodies in a public way, it's seen as being shameful and dishonoring the family. And I felt like by doing it, I've broken that cycle for myself and for my children. I've broken that cycle to say, I don't feel guilt, I don't feel shame, and I'm really sorry. But if you love me as a member of your family, as a member of your community, then grow with me, go with me. And it's something that I've put off for a long time, Kate, and it was really scary to do, and it's very upsetting to do, but I felt I had to break that cycle.
So, Saira, you said just then that your mum wasn't going to call you on your 50th, but did she then call you?
She did, Kay. She did, James. Sorry, because my son on my birthday, actually Nadia, she phoned me, and I got really upset. It's like, well, my mum hasn't phoned me. I haven't told anybody that she hasn't talked to me for 8 months. And actually, both of my children were listening, and that's when my son went upstairs and, unbeknown to me, phoned up my mum and said, "Nanny, you have to phone my mummy. She's really upset." And my mum actually did say to him, "I'm sorry, I can't. She has brought shame. I can't show my face." And that's when Zach said, "Nanny, she hasn't brought shame. She's trying to help women." And all this came out later. And I couldn't believe that my son had actually used those words. And I was so proud of him, because I feel like I'm actually bringing up a young boy who sees women as being strong individuals. And by showing your body, it doesn't mean that you're anything less. But my mum did phone me half an hour later on my birthday after my son had phoned. And I think she was actually at that point realised, I'm going to lose my daughter and I'm going to lose my grandson, and I'm not prepared to do that.
Yeah.
So we've brought that relationship back together again. But people saw that as that cover shoot as just me showing my body off. It was actually quite a political statement.
Yeah.
For myself, but also for lots of other girls who may be experiencing that kind of guilt and shame.
Yeah, well, I mean, full credit to you, Saira. And also, I have to say, full credit to your mum, because, she's obviously been brought up in a certain way, and she has the weight of her culture, and that she was able to, with your son's help, kind of reach beyond that. And it's brilliant to hear that you two have been able to speak about it, and you've kind of moved on as
It's funny, isn't it?
as
Because
mother and
listening to
daughter.
that for you and I, it was very different growing up.
Yeah, and listening to Saira, I feel very, very grateful that I never did have to fight against the weight of that kind of oppression, I suppose, is the word you'd have to give it.